and the theme of this today's parallel session is transformational education using technology, challenges and benefits. The topic of today's session is defining learning outcomes and integrating those into curriculum. I'm Professor Dr. Khaja Iftekharuddin Ahmed. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. I'm from United International University, Bangladesh, and I'll be serving today as the session chair for this session. So before we start, let me talk about today's the rules that we'll maintain. Each speaker will have approximately 15 minutes for this presentation and 5 minutes for question and answer. If any speaker should face technical difficulties and could not present, then what we'll do, we'll move to the next speaker in line and come back to the original speaker at the end. I will alert the speaker at 5 minutes before his presentation and also 1 minute before his presentation is over. So that is for within the 15 minutes window. And exactly after 20 minutes, the next speaker will begin presentation. So before we go to the first speaker, let me talk a little bit about her biography. She's Dr. Nahid Fatima. Dr. Nahid Fatima has doctorate degree in mathematics with 20+ years of rich teaching experience in various recognized universities in India and abroad. She is working currently as an associate professor in the Department of Science of Prince Sultan University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Prior to Prince Sultan University, she was working with Princess Noura University at Riyadh. She has completed her PhD in mathematics in 2006 from India. Besides teaching students at undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate level, she also paid utmost attention towards the research field. She published papers on multiple aspects of mathematics and teaching technology in various Scopus Index international journal. Without further ado, I give the floor to Dr. Nahid Fatima. Dr. Nahid Fatima, please switch on your camera and share your presentation in full screen mode.
Thank you so much for your kind word. Thank you, all of you, for inviting me. Now I'm going to start my presentation. Just let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible. We can see.
Yes. Thank you so much for your kind word. But we will not able to move this one. Yes. Now, yes. Now this is the topic of my presentation today. Just it is a pros and cons of the increase in digital technologies for the future students. And I just try to find out what is the comparison between pros and cons, because now nowadays digital in technology increasing a lot all over the world. So here just try to point out some important lines, like here, because due to short time I have not introduced many things, but here just try to put something, table of contents, abstract, history of emergence of technology in education, barriers to technology integration in education, pros of technology, and obviously pros is there, so there must be cons. So cons of having technology in the classroom. And now finally, what is the result, conclusion. So now let's start with the abstract. So now, as per our abstract is just try to tell you what we have done here, what we are going to tell you. So here, just I have mentioned that increase in digital technology corresponds with the increase in the technology in both virtual and real life classroom. Although many advantages come with digitalized learning, many advantages, but disadvantage is also there. We should be aware of, including and not limited to minimal to zero face-to-face interaction in the classroom, and the lack of ability to walk in person with your teacher. So this is biggest disadvantage. But despite these disadvantages, overall, digital technology has enhanced the future of learning and enabled students and educators alike from all over the world to work together, spread knowledge, and increase learning opportunities for everyone. Just like here, I'm presenting online. So if there is no online facility available, it is not possible to present. So there is a many facilities, many advantages we can use. And as I said, disadvantages is also there. So the increase of digital technology has also affected the availability and access to diverse teacher and instructors for students worldwide. So in this walk, we will point out comparisons of advantages and disadvantages of increasing digital technology. So just technology is a hot topic these days in education and everywhere, all over the world. Technology means it's a very hot topic. Everybody, all the people, all the students must be aware. So here, just parents and teacher may worry about the extra screen time. Just disadvantage, just point out some line, the lack of face-to-face interaction and the distraction that the use of technology implies. Other embrace technology because they see the enthusiasm, motivation, personalized education experience, and collaborative opportunities that technology can provide. So here, just try to the history of the emergence of technology in education. So the student in classroom can't imagine a world without computer. Without computer, they cannot think they cannot imagine anything. The computer have always been a part of their lives. Young learners have been immersed in technology since they could crawl. They could crawl. They show little to no interest in giving it up. But is that such a bad thing? Perhaps not. This is the biggest question. This is a bad or this is a good? This is the advantage, this is the pros, or this is the cons? This is the biggest question. There should be a biggest debate, but here we cannot do. Just point out something. Many educators appreciate using technology too. It is an integral part of curriculum mapping, classroom instructions, and assessments. We have certainly come a long way since the early days of educational technology, but maybe it's worth a history lesson to really put things into perspective. Over the span of 50 years. So here, how did this change occur? Main thing is, how did this change? Technology originally made its way into the US education system as it is necessity to prepare for an increasingly digital future and as part of its Cold War era competition. So here, the Vocational Educational Act in 1963 funded technology use in schools. As a result, in 1963, as a result, students learned programming languages like BASIC, PCs gradually made their way into some classrooms. So that is the way computer enter into the classrooms. And there is a famous mathematician and professor Seymour Papert first introduced microcomputer in the classroom by teaching basic programming in the early 1980s. His logo program taught students of basic programming. So his idea was to create student-centered learning activities. Children learn the language command that would create graphic shapes. So Papert based his instructional program on a theory of constructive that he turned that he tried to create a strategy in which students assemble the building blocks of learning themselves. So by the mid of 1980s, Apple computers had also gained foothold in classroom. So here I have also written a mere decade later, the internet connected computer worldwide. The dramatic growth of the World Wide Web introduced email, video, and a variety of digital media. So the connection, this shows that business and interpersonal relationship but also education beginning in the early 2000. There was a greater emphasis on a new form of education, STEM, short for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, obviously. Computer and technology are the future. We may as well embrace them for all the benefit they bring to the classroom. So here, just try to give some literature, because I have point out here, Dewey 1938 just started the what is the digital technology. So I just studied this paper, and Clandon in 1992 reconceived the role of teacher as a curriculum maker, and Bornos 1996 also suggested the education in a broader context of what society intends. And here 1997 Spica and others also studied this topic, and in 1998 Stenberg, and Noflon 2002, and many others. I have not given here full references. I have used many papers, I have studied many papers, but here due to short time, due to lack of time, I did not provide all this thing. I did not put all. Here you can see 2004, here Reeves issued the call for teachers to examine their professional practice and their impact on student achievement and transform education. And same as King SB in 2014, and onwards 2014, 2019, there is a one paper, I did not put it here. So they all studied about the digital education. What is the advantage of these? So this is the literature. Now, what is the future of technology in your classroom? That is just my topic. What is the pros and cons for the future student of digital technology for the future student? So here, the future of technology in your classroom. So here just to point out something like, unfortunately, not all classrooms are at the same level of educational technology integration. This is the biggest thing. We should think more about this, because not all classrooms are at the same level. It would be great to issue.
Dr. Nahid, you have 5 minutes left.
Okay. Yes, I will go to the conclusion. It would be great to issue each student a tablet and tell them to work with the device. So I will not go all this thing because we don't have time. Here you can see, if you are in a classroom or a school with the limited option, so just you can see, take a trip virtually, integrate digital media into your lessons, bring your own device, make the most of the internet, use freely available tools. And you can say, what is barriers to technology integration in education? There are so many barriers in the technology, and I wanted to discuss all these things, but we don't have, as you said, we don't have time, so I will not go to discuss all this. Just here you can see my slide, and this is the some barriers are given here. But what does all of this mean for our student? Barriers, that means it will create problem. It is the cons for the digital technology for our future students. What is this? So here just we try to put some points. This one, internet or computer access, some internet or computer access. So there is a internet access is also a problem, because in all over the world, internet access is not possible. In a small city, small town, there is a problem for the students. This is also a barrier. And just budget constraint is also there. I have many points to speak for the budget constraints. And there is a lack of curriculum, scarcity of curriculum, so which is also, it is not uniform for all. Wi-Fi barriers, there is a many things. Parental involvement, whenever a student take classes online, parental involvement is also there. This is also a disadvantage of technology. How to overcome barriers to technology adoption. So just wanted to tell you how to overcome these barriers to technology adoption. So a strong leadership, you will impossible to overcome, but we can suggest something like a strong leadership, parents on board, not opponents of technology, So this is the pros and cons of using technology in your classroom. Pros, just in 2-3 minutes I will wind up. Variety of resources, efficiency, up-to-date information, students have control, cost effective. There are so many pros, and same as we have some disadvantage cons. So here are some of clear benefits of using technology in the classroom. Many things I'm not giving you. And now this is the cons of technology in the classroom, which is also very less here. There are so many cons. So here, distraction, cheating, excessive screen timing, less human interaction, which is very common, which I have pointed out here, unequal access of technology. So now, what is the conclusion? It is that technology is a powerful tool that positively impact learning by showing student how to use it effective, and teacher can make them interactive, can make them useful for the student. But there are also many disadvantages. So what we should do, what we need to do, we need to do a survey and take the advantage and disadvantage, some data, and we can do some statistical test, and then we can verify where advantage is higher or disadvantage is higher. So we can also do many statistical chi-square test, many mathematics we can apply, and we can find out what is the best here. But here I would like to say technology is really good, and it is a many advantages, and students should use it. Whatever is the disadvantages, all we should try to remove that types of disadvantages. We cannot remove all this, but we should try to
You have 1 minute left.
minimize all this. Yes, sorry.
You have 1 minute left.
Okay, yes, sir.
1 minute. Yeah.
So just the teacher will also develop the skill that they need to be successful in the future. Means with technology, we should try, in the last line, I would like to say, we should try to remove disadvantages. Just what is the important for the student, just try to make it effective, make it fruitful for the students. And this is the resources. We have taken some literature reviews and some references. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nahid, for your presentation. So far, we don't have any question from the audience. So, so I have one question. You have talked about scarcity of curriculum.
Yeah.
Right. So can you elaborate on that?
Yes, scarcity of a curriculum means in curriculum somewhere it is too much syllabus, too much point out on the basic and other thing. And in other countries or in other cities, you can see this is a very less thing is given in the curriculum. It is not uniform. So this is, we can say, scarcity of the curriculum. It is not uniform. It is a disadvantage, lack of curriculum, we can say. It is not insufficient. Its curriculum should be sufficient. In some countries it is not given all the data, all this thing which is required for the student, and in some it is given. So this is, I can say, the scarcity of curriculum.
So how is it related with the digital technology?
Digital technology means if you are using online classes, so curriculum is not uniform. So it is suppose curriculum is not complete. So students and their parents understand that they will their students qualified that grade, suppose 5, suppose 8, suppose 10, but actually their curriculum is not complete. And using digital technology, they are enjoying, because there is very less curriculum and they are not understanding many things, they are not getting many information. So digital technology, they are saying yes, it is very good, it is an advantage, but due to less curriculum, you cannot explain many things. So I think it is many things related to digital technology.
Okay. And I think you also talked about the distraction as a cons of digital technology. So distraction. Yes.
Distraction. This is a sometimes in the class, students have to concentrate completely towards teachers. But if you are taking just online classes or using some other digital technologies, students sometimes start sometimes they open other window. and they are not concentrate on. That means they are this is a, you can say this is just an example of they are not concentrating on that point. Means
Okay.
those who don't want to study, this may also happen in the physical class. I
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah.
So yes, so they can actually use that digital device for other purposes.
Yes,
That is
yes,
what you're
yes.
saying.
And
Yeah.
their parents understand they are studying, but actually they are doing something other.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't have any further questions. So I'm not sure. So Dr. Riaz, and if you have
Yes,
any questions.
just one simple question.
Yes.
Like the problem that you raised, sir, regarding the students' diversion in the class while they are on digital learning mode. When we are talking about the class, there is some observer. Okay, now the devices are so much available. There is a sensor. There is all kind of cameras are fitted over there. The student cannot move left and right. They will be seen by the observers. And so if those modes are put into, this kind of diversion will not take place. That is expected. That is in some cases rarely, but it cannot be in general in more ways. So diversion can be avoided. Regarding the curriculum, I can say that when you are putting any lecture, any syllabus, that has to be complete in order to be taught. So you cannot teach any incomplete course. Curriculum must be fully taught. The change of mode doesn't make the problem in delivering the lecture. You have to set your curriculum in a way which can be doable through the technology. So if you are lacking in the technology to produce, this is another issue than the missing of the curriculum. I think I made my point clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Naid, for your presentation at time. Now we move to the next speaker. So our next speaker is Dr. Riaz Ahmed, and his presentation will be on the empowerment of learners for their summative assessment using a digital learning environment. So before I give the floor to the speaker, let me just read out his brief biography. So Dr. Riaz Ahmed has more than 30 years of experience in teaching the subject of mathematics. Dr. Riaz has a unique concoction of academics experience, is highly focused in guiding students in reaching their potential and achieving their goals in life. He believes in the making students fall in love with the subjects of math. An active researcher and publisher of papers in the leading educational journals. His research interests are functional analysis, BCK algebra, economics, business, education. He's a member of the American Mathematical Society, member of Journal of Education, AIAER, India, life member of Calcutta Mathematical Society, India, member of IEEE, and Indian Mathematical Society, India. So without further ado, I give the floor to Dr. Riaz.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me the platform. First of all, I would like to welcome all the audience, those who are going to listen to me. My topic, as Dr. mentioned here, with his permission, I'm going to start my presentation. So is it clear to you, sir, here? My presentation?
Yeah, you need to share your screen in full screen mode.
Okay, 1 minute. I shared, I think. Okay.
No, you did not share.
Okay, just a minute. So let me share. Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, but you need to use the full screen mode.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Now it's fine.
So a very good evening, another afternoon at this point in Dubai, to all the listeners and viewers and respected our chair, sir. I'm going to start my topic, which is, as you mentioned, the empowerment of learners for their summative assessment using a digital environment. My topic contains two important things. First of all, we are talking about empowering the learners, and through what media? Through digital mode. And what we want to do, we want to make their summative assessments. So we want the empowered learners through the digital medium. We want to assess their performance. So this is what my topic is, and I have made this index. The first will be introduction, summative assessment, what is DLE, why is it important, how is it implemented, the technological components, modes of the web-based learning, formative assessment, DLE for mathematics, characteristic of mathematics, activities, modeling interaction on DLE, a schematic diagram, what do this model achieve, methodology with example, and finally discussion and conclusion. So for introducing the concept, I would like to just mention here few ways of empowering the student in the classroom. So student can be empowered in the classroom through these observations. So the teacher and instructor must have to help students find their passion, recognize students who participate and share their thoughts, personalize lessons and make them relevant. This is very important. Encourage debate and expression of ideas and opinions. Brainstorm with students, have patience, help students determine what they want and find their passion, practice empathy and resilience, promote leadership and explore different forms of it, help students problem solve, analyze and research issue and idea. So empowered students are to be made empowered through all these observations from the instructor. Now, what are the assessment? I'm going to discuss here two types of assessment we usually need in every teaching and learning process. The one is formative assessment, another is summative assessment. So when does formative assessment take place? Throughout the course, we do the formative assessment, whereas we do the summative assessment at the end of the instructional period. Why we do that? Identify gaps and improve learning. This is for the formative. For the summative, collect evidence of student knowledge, skill, or proficiency. And how we do that? For formative, we have approaches that support specific student needs. This is extremely important. And how in the summative statement, which is the exit learning exams or cumulative assessments. So these are the mean of the methods for assessment for the students who are being taken education on in the classroom. But as I've told you that we are going to do to the digital learning environment. So we are going to create a digital learning environment for their study, and at the same time, we are going to assess them. So first question arises, what is a digital learning environment? A student-centered framework. This is very important what I was talking about. A student-centered framework where opportunities for learning and access to educational resources are available anytime, anywhere, anytime and anywhere. And the components include why we want to do this one. Through this, what I want to achieve. We want the student to achieve 21st century skills. Digital learning is important for these outcomes. It's very, very important. Our students are going to enter where they will be asked for not what your academic qualification is, what you can do, what your skill. So the students are required to have 21st century skills, which is communications, collaborations, creativity, and critical thinking. Digital curriculum, this is what I was saying, the learning management system, LMS, electronics resources, etc. Mobile devices, Wi-Fi, laptop or tablet with battery life 6+ hours. Personalized learning, this is what should be in the digital learning. The student will be empowered, so they must have the personalized learning using an abundance of resources and assessment data, customizing learning. Why is it important? It creates learning opportunities for our students that are simply not possible without any time, anywhere access to the internet. For example, it creates opportunities for collaborations. Students can collaborate through the Zoom to their students and communicate and collaborate synchronously and asynchronously. more timely feedback through the learning management systems. The feedback will be available to the students. They will get immediate feedback. So more timely feedback, which is not possible all the time. The digital assessment can provide immediate feedback to improve learning. So if you're doing mistake, you got the feedback, you immediately correct yourself and you move forward. And also there is a differentiation. Not everybody is being given or explained in the same way. So differentiation provides a variety of learning and teaching style to meet students' individual needs. This is extremely important, which is available through the learning management system to the students. Narrowing the digital divide. Also, it is provide equal technology opportunities for all students. So when you have put this digital learning environment, we have provided equal technology and opportunity for all students. Engaging all students in high level of learning, the student can work at their own pace and ability. This is which is available to him when he is empowered through a digital learning environment. So how is it implemented? It is important to understand. It is important to understand a successful digital learning environment focuses on teaching and learning. This is very important. So it is important to understand that a successful digital learning environment focuses on teaching and learning, not the technology. The device is a tool for learning, but the teacher facilitates the process and guides each student down their path of personalized learning. Successful DLE program implement a number of different devices, use a variety of learning management system, and collect data with a range of assessment applications, but all focus on student learning and applying best practices in teaching. So educational goal is increase student learning and achievement, improve student college and career readiness. This is important. When many students ask me while we teach the students, what I'm going to do with the calculus when I'm going to in my job, in which job requirement ask me to teach, integrate this and differentiate this. So this kind of question will not arise. Improve the student college and career readiness. They will be taught what they are going to do. So increase 21st century skill of communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. The 21st century skill says that you will not be asked what your qualification is, what you are going to do the company. The mode of question from the employer to the employee will be not what you are qualified for. They will ask the question, what you can do for my company. So skills are very important to be given to the students, and 21st century skill is very much needed of. So increase student engagement in high level of learning. So we are now, so that the technology component includes a learning management system. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to talk about the components of technological component, a learning management system, LMS, together with software, other tools and integration, which accomplish a specific purpose of learning, such as web conference tools, assessment tools, sector-specific software. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah, please continue. You have 5 minutes left.
And many others. Activities and resources, static interactive, which can be used in synchronous or asynchronous modality. Technological devices through which the learning community has access to the online environment. So a system and tools for collecting and recording data and tracking the community's activities related to learning. So these are the technological component of DLE. So I will be now moving to give here. So here, so formative assessment is most important. Formative assessment is one of the key principles which, according to the majority of the scholars, should be included in the design of a learning environment, being it a physical or virtual. So according to them, a practice in a classroom is a formative to the extent the students know and they are able to change the mistakes and correct themselves to achieve what has been taught to them. So in that case, so we have put here five key strategies to do that. They identify 3 agents that are principally activated during formative practices: the teacher, the student, and the peers. And there are 5 key strategies enacted. Key strategy number 1 is clarifying and sharing learning intentions and criteria for success. Key is strategies engineering effective classroom discussion and other learning tasks that elicit evidence of students' understanding. The third one is providing feedback that moves learner forward, activating students as instructional resources and activating students as the owners of their learning. So I will be now going to give a direct example. Here, this is how it will take place. There is a teacher, there is the student and the peers. So the mode is teacher will create and manage, delivering and displaying. Then student will give it, and he will collect, analyze, and provide feedback. And it will be here process, teacher to student, and student to peer, and peer to teacher. This is how the system is going to work on DLE system. So to create an interactive learning environment, all the materials of learning and assessment can be collected in a single environment and be accessible at any time. They can activate the student who can be engaged in the navigation of the learning path, solve the task, and receive feedback to support collaborative learning through specific activities delivered to group of students, which enhance the communication and sharing of material, ideas, and understanding, to promote formative assessment by offering immediate feedback to students about their results, their knowledge and skill acquired, and their learning level. Feedback can also be returned to the teachers on the student results and their activities, supporting decision making. So here is one of the example I can put for which was given to the grade 8 students. So here they are given a question over here. So how on the digital learning environment the student will learn in a better way. So he is given this diagram. The first question the teacher will explain him to find write the formula expressing how the area of the yellow part changes when A changes, and then he will be asked to provide.
You've lost 1 minute.
For 4 different formulas. So if he is doing this through this way, he is learning more and more. Okay, and teacher is making through the digital learning environment to experience himself. He is learning by doing. He is learning by through different examples and knowing all parts of the ideas that he has taken in the class to be involved over here. So again, this way, the same cycle here, teacher will be providing case to the key strategy, and then also strategy 1, and then he will be collecting. The student will be through connecting to us, vice versa here, student to teacher and teacher to peer. This will go through, and all these key strategies will be applied. Okay, and finally the other key stages learnings will also be applied. So this is how the whole system of digital learning is going to be applied to make the student learn in a better environment. So I would like to conclude, and I will just mention the few. The design of the activity enables case 3 and case 5, which keep students engaged with the task until its full comprehension demonstrated by the repeated attempts. So through this one, the students are supposed to learn the thing in a more better way and more clear way. Similar activities can lead to a deep understanding of fundamental mathematics concepts. The technologies and methodologies used in particular is automatic assessment based on mathematical engine. Automatic assessment supported the design and implementation of interesting activities. So this way, what I will try to conclude further, that time is a barrier. So I would like to say that it is very effectively the empowerment through empowering the learner, empowering the students through the DLE. We can not only teach them, we can also do their assessment in a more better way, and a student will be ready for the 21st century skill in more better way. When they are empowered, they are taking the responsibility. There will be no sort of complaints. They can exercise themselves, and at the time it is available to them, they will do that one. So more freedom, more responsibility they will take. Also, there is a question of voice and choice. It is entertained, freedom is given, democratic setup is being done. So all these things are being given to the learners. I think here I would like to stop, and then references are here. So thank you very much. And any question from your
Thank
side,
you.
sir?
Thank you, Dr. Riaz. We don't have any question from the audience. So can you show the diagram that you have referred in the presentation?
Yes. Yes.
Can you little bit, make it full screen so that
Okay.
it is visible?
Okay.
Okay, so you have one like peer, so how
Yes.
you make sure that you have a peer activities happening in the classroom?
It will happen like, for example, you make a group. I give you a very good example. Suppose I gave a question, multiple choice question to a student, and I asked them the answers. Okay, they gave me the answer A, B, C, D, all the students. One of them is correct. So I will be saying there are 5 students who answered the correct. Then I will let these students be together, 5, I will make them together and make another group where the one who made wrong, they will be discussing to each other that why his answer is correct and why his answer is not correct. They will discuss among themselves, and finally, when he is convinced, each group of 5 is convinced, then the learning is done. If not, then the teacher will come forward and he will clarify that why this answer was correct. This is the brief example that I gave to you. I think I made my point clear.
Yeah. And you have also talked about the empowerment.
Yes,
so
empowerment is very good, sir. I would like to, my last lecture, which I gave yesterday, was learner empowerment, because I as I told you, it is needed, very much needed. Why? Because we want to take the student to 21st century skill. So for 21st century skill is completely different than what we are providing to the students, and this cannot happen all the way through the classroom learning as well. Digital learning is important, and at the same time, our world is no more India, Pakistan. It is like a global village. So we are preparing students for the global, for the whole globe. And requirement of the globe is that he should be skill-wise fully prepared. So a teacher in the class cannot provide them all what he required. So if he's empowered, and I prepare a digital learning environment like this, he can be at his will. He will open the system, and he can learn, and he will not need the teacher's involvement. He will get the feedback immediately, because we will design the program in such a way he will get immediate feedback. When he get immediate feedback, he will continue to do that. So the students, when are empowered and given chance to get the feedback, they will be immediately moving forward. He will love to do more than what he is doing now as a homework. He's doing homework, he doesn't know. But if he's doing in the LMS, he is knowing where did I go wrong and what is the correct answer. It will encourage him to continue. And because now the children are more techy, they will love to learn through technology in a more better way, efficient way than what they are doing without that. I think I have made my answer clear to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. I think we have run out of time. Thank you for your nice presentation, Dr. Riaz. So without further delay, we move to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Marzan. Dr. Marzan Anislog. He's from Philippines. So I'll just read out his biography before I give the floor to him. So Marzan V. Anislog is a graduate student of University of the Philippines, taking a course PhD in forestry, forest biological sciences. He successfully graduated with his master's degree in Don Marino Marcos Memorial State University in a course MS in agroforestry. This was in 2019, and then he finished his tertiary education at Sergio del Norte State University in 2015. That was his course on Bachelor of Science in Agroforestry. Presently, he's working as an assistant professor at Sergio del Norte State University in the Philippines. So without further ado, I give the floor to Dr. Marjan. You can start your presentation. We can see your slides. So your title of today's title is basically, this is Agroforestry Teaching Strategies in the New Normal Education. Go ahead, Dr. Marjan. Thank you.
Sir, good evening. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. Good day to one and all. By the way, I am Marjan B. Anislag, your in for OBE speaker from the Philippines with the assigned topic entitled Agroforestry Teaching Strategies in the New Normal Education. And currently an assistant professor from Surigao del Norte State University of the Philippines. The importance of agroforestry bridges the gap that often separates agriculture and forestry by building integrated systems that addresses both environmental and socio-economic objectives. Agroforestry can improve the resiliency of agricultural systems and mitigate the impacts of climate change. Thus, this is the reason why our Philippine government encourages opening this course program to make more experts responsible enough to bridge the gap that often separates agriculture and forestry by integrating systems that addresses both environmental and socio-economic objectives. In this slide, I have to inform you that the contents of this presentation focus on the introduction, which will mention the specific problems and objectives of the study, the methodology that will specifically tackle each materials and methods. Then we'll go to its result and discussion. The research problem that is the focus of this presentation is started in August 2020. There are many students from remote or rural areas have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. During the period, many students in the rural areas were depressed because of the lockdowns, COVID-19 strict protocols, and low internet connections. And academically, the performance of the students has been affected, as well as the quality of teaching education. The objective of this study is to determine the best teaching strategy for agroforestry students at Surigao del Norte State University amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The study was conducted in the Surigao del Norte province of the Philippines, where the agroforestry students live in remote areas with no or too low internet connections. The respondents were from 10% of the total population of agroforestry students per municipality. The same questions for assignments, quizzes, and major exams were provided to the students who were enrolled in the Introduction to Agroforestry subject that are studying via online class learning, offline class learning, and blended class learning. Data from the assignments, from their assignments, quizzes, and other major exams were recorded, summarized, and subjected to the RCBD ANOVA analysis. Means were compared using the less significant different test, or LSD. Based on the result of this study, the students who are in blended learning classes got the highest scores in their assignments, quizzes, and other exams followed by those students who are fully online learning classes and offline learning classes. Comparison among means, the blended learning classes and online class learning significantly influence the student over the students who are engaged in pure offline class. This result simply implies that factors for the students who are in blended learning and online learning strategy got the quality and competitive academic outputs because they successfully acquired more knowledge and techniques. Okay. This result simply implies that factors for the students who are in blended learning and offline learning strategy got the quality and competitive academic outputs because they are successfully acquired more knowledge and techniques that are accessible from the internet and from their professor over those in offline class learning. They naturally use their traditional knowledge to answer the given questions to assignments, quizzes, and major exams. The teaching strategies that are used in this study were very helpful to encourage the teaching strategies that are used in this study were very helpful to encourage the students to continue their education amidst COVID-19 pandemic. But still, pressure on those students who were engaged in offline classes because offline classes using the printed modules lead them to incompetent and low quality academic outputs over the students who are engaging in blended learning classes and online classes. The recommendation of this presentation and research output as well is that blended learning class is the best teaching strategy for the agroforestry students to produce quality and competent academic outputs. Moreover, the government should provide free Wi-Fi and internet connections to remote areas so that students can access essential information that will be very useful for their studies. And this time I am open for question or to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So we don't have any question from the audience. So so from your presentation, what I could understand is that you're saying that if it is a blended mode, then the students learn better rather than the offline
Yes,
mode
sir.
and also the online mode. So
Yes,
can
sir.
you a little bit explain and how it happens in blended mode? So what is different in blended mode?
The differences among the teaching strategies that were used in this study is that more of the students got highest score from their assignments, quizzes, and other activities who are in blended learning. It is because they can access more information from the internet. Likewise, they access information and instructions from their professors. In contrast to those students who are in offline mode, where the reference or the materials they were used were the printed modules. So the students who are in offline learning, they were very dependent on what they personally learned about the subject matter that a professor provided to them. So it was the factor. It was the factor. Even the students are intelligent, but because of the materials deficiency for them to research, so that was the reason why the students who are in offline class were not competent over the students who are in blended learning. Then
Okay.
that's all, sir. Thank you.
So
Okay.
can I come in, sir?
Dr. Riaz, you want to go? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Actually, I had the opportunity to teach in both when suddenly the COVID-19 came in. I was made everything online. So I had the experience of teaching online, total online. Then after when it became a little less, then I had the opportunity of blended type also. And also I had opportunity now teaching, which was already before. So from my perspective, the way I did, I would like to share, if you allow me, something
Yeah,
to make it more clear. So,
Yeah.
So let me,
We have time. I mean, we can.
yeah. So I want to go out of this. So look here, sir.
Mhm.
In the blended learning system, what happened? Some of the students are online, some of the students are in the class.
Okay.
So when I was teaching online, the students were receiving all these, and also they were receiving the recordings. Okay.
Okay.
They're receiving the recordings. So
Mhm.
what has been seen that when they are online, most of them decided to sleep, and they were just being reluctant to attend the class. Even if you keep calling them, they are not responding. So this kinds of issue was there. Okay.
Yeah.
But students were getting the full recording, and also they were getting this note. So they were getting this note. I was just importing it for them in the Moodle, and also the recording. So whenever they need an exam come, they were able to manage this one. Okay, now what happened when it is blended? The students, those who are in the classroom, okay, they also, I have to do what? I have to do the same kind of teaching through the projector. The students present, they are seeing, watching me what I'm doing as if I'm teaching online in front of them. Okay, and online students are getting the same type, the way I used to teach them online. So both type of students are there. Teacher is now facilitating both the classes. Okay.
Okay.
So when the classroom students, when the classroom student has a problem, okay, I ask the question, I go to them and explain them in front of them. So they are taking note as well as, and when the students on the online has the questions, I used to ask them, whoever asked the question, I used to explain them this way. So what has happened?
Okay.
What has happened? That automatically they are in the classroom, they are learning, they are getting this note also, they are getting recording also. Okay. So whenever they have time, they have not understood, they can open my note, they are getting everything. They're not writing, they're focusing, their focus is increased. In that way, the learning become much better than that. This was the main reason they are getting more support from the teaching and learning process. They have the all recording. So I think this is the main reason why the blended learning providing good result. Good result. But in the simple off campus, in the campus, the students, those who are concentrating, they only learn. Those who are not concentrating, they are gone. Okay, so because it's not being recorded, so he is not also learning. So this was and that is why more than 30 years ago, this has been perceived that in every class, more than 20% students are not concentrating. The reason may be different. Diversion, maybe some problem with him, so many issues. They will not be concentrating. but what to how to teach them. And that's why this become more important to have the digital learning environment, or whatever you can say. It became important. So I think the reason is what I explained you. I think I made my point clear to you.
Yeah. So
Okay, sir.
yeah, so I think what you are saying, there are many things actually we can discuss from your experience that you have shared.
Yeah.
So one thing is that I think when we say blended learning, then we need to actually ask what we are blending. Like Dr. Marjan, I think probably he's mentioning that he's actually blending the on in-class activities with the offline activities. So he has learning management system, and the students when they are in the class, they are listening to the teacher, but at the same time when they are out of the class, they also get the access to the internet, the LMS, and they can do their work as well. So this is one thing, but what you are saying, that is more profound, in the sense that you're saying that now the students has the ability to come in the class, and also they can remain at their home. So you are giving the option to the students whether they will come to the class or they are not coming to the class. So you are blending at the same time. It is a synchronous mode. It's not asynchronous. It is synchronous mode. Your class is being recorded, and the teacher, the students and teachers there in the classroom. Also, there are presence of online students who are not in the classroom.
Yes, correct.
So and what you are saying, that since the lecture is being recorded, so the students, even they have the access to the recording, so they can get the clarification even after the class from the recorded lectures.
Also the notebook, which is this one, they can see.
Yeah, so from
it's already
the
posted
note
there.
Yeah. So my question here is that how you actually how you, when you're saying that the students have the option to come to the class, also not to come to the class, how you balance that out? So
Yeah,
whether
this is managed. While they registered for the course, at that time it is decided who is going to who is going to take online, who is not, who is going to take in class. It is too much advantageous. Like in my class, now a student from Saudi, I'm in Dubai, a student from Saudi Arabia, from America, or from there, okay, they are all studying together. Okay, so it is increasing more horizon. The attendance becomes more. So it is from all perspective, from revenue perspective, from teaching perspective, from all perspective, it is much better, much better. So student nowadays, they force us to do this way. Those who are suppose they, for one time they are also allowed. Suppose they become sick, for example, so they can sit at home and take the lecture. Okay, they are not missing.
Yeah, so the question is that when you share the note that you have shown here, so you shared that in the classroom also?
No, on the Moodle.
Yeah, in the Moodle, but
this is also sharing. Yeah, this is also shared on the through the projector.
Yeah. Are they using it in the classroom?
Yeah, yes. Through my screen is shared through the projector to the students. And wherever
so that means that they need to bring. So that means they need to bring the digital device in the classroom.
No, not required. Because my screen, I am showing.
You're sharing
them through the projector to the class where the board is, and they are listening and learning. And if they have question, I go and explain them on the board. So that the both are satisfied. So this is working very nicely. Very nice. We have the Moodle, everything is there. So students are really benefiting, and this will continue for a long time if this corona kind of symptom continues.
Yeah. I think so. In that case, there is another question. So we have few minutes left. Another question is that if the pandemic, I think it maybe you can say that it's a verge of in conclusion.
Yes.
So probably it would be over very soon. In that case, whether we will continue the blended mode in the coming days when there is no pandemic, what do you think?
Yeah, Yeah, pandemic, you know, doctor, what I will tell you, this kind of scenario has happened a long time before. Okay, people always have come up and has been improving. Okay, so is the case. Now we are in post-pandemic. We are not even remembering what the damage corona has done, but we are trying to take the advantage of what the corona has
The
provided.
benefit.
This is one
Exactly.
of the benefit that corona has given to us, and we should try to move forward. I
So,
think
okay.
every university should go this one. They will have more revenue. They will be able to attract the people from outside. Okay. For their learner, their university will be ranked in a better way. It is too much advantageous process.
Yeah.
I think it should be win-win situation for
Yeah,
everyone.
exactly.
Okay?
So the note you have shared, this is for the first year students in the university?
University for undergraduate.
Undergraduate student. Okay.
I'm writing here on the whiteboard. I'm writing.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
then this one is
I got
recorded.
it.
And then I import them onto the Moodle. Okay. So all these notes are there. So they can they have everything.
Okay.
Everything. They are
Thank
getting
you.
information.
Thank you, Dr. Riaz. I think
Yes.
we have just very close to this session. So not session, I mean Dr. Marjan time slot. So Dr. Marjan, do you have any concluding remarks before we go to the next speaker? Dr. Marjan.
I am very thankful for having this conference, because this time I proved myself that my result regarding that the best teaching strategy is the same with the result of is the same with the experience of Dr. Riaz. So we favored, or we recommended, to have a blended learning over the offline learning system. So as long that pandemic will continue. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Marjan, for your presentation. So we will go to the next speaker, who is Dr. Iqtidar Hussain. So Dr. Iqtidar Hussain is serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Agronomy at the Faculty of Agriculture, Gomal University since 2014. He completed his PhD from Gomal University in Agronomy, which is plant sciences. He has substantially improved his capacity building through meaningful participation as keynote speakers, resource person, focal person, organizer in various training sessions, seminar, conferences, and workshops at national and international levels. He achieved a distinction by becoming member of the Soil Science Society of Pakistan, Wheat Science Society of Pakistan, Pakistan Botany Society, and Pakistan Allopathy Society. He published 96 research articles in national as well as international reported research journal. He served the education department as teacher and subject specialist for 17 years, and at the Gomal University as assistant professor for 8 years. So without further ado, I will give the floor to Iqtidar Hussain. Iqtidar Hussain, you need to switch on your camera and then share your screen and your presentation in full screen mode. You have 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes to conclude your session.
Thank you.
Dr. Morjan, you can turn off your mic. Yes.
Words for me today.
Dr. Iqtidar, your microphone is very noisy. Your microphone is very noisy.
Today in Pakistan is celebrating the 75th Independence Day. Today is the day of Pakistan. Pakistan came into being 14th August 1947. This is a great honor for me to address you on the Independence Day of Pakistan. No, my voice is clear?
Yeah, it's clear now. It's better, but still the noise is there. You can continue, please continue.
Thank you, sir. For my introduction, now I start my presentation with the name of Allah, who is most merciful, and His Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My topic of presentation is Impact of Modern Technology in Promoting Education by Dr. Iqtidar Hussain, Department of Agronomy, Faculty of Agriculture, Gomal University, Deir Yassin Khan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan. Education is one of the key factors for changing the existing state of a nation in the globe. For a country like Pakistan, education becomes even more indispensable for its socio-economic development. Primary, lower, and secondary education completion rate stood for 67%, 47%, and 23% respectively. Various initiatives have been taken at federal and provincial level to raise the standards of education in terms of quality education. Challenges: since the single national curriculum is a more reform in the country, there are few challenges in order to implement in a true letter and spirit. These challenges include capacity building of the existing teachers, induction of new teachers as per requirement, uplifting the educational facilities in far-flung areas of Pakistan. Here in Pakistan, there are three national curriculum or studies. First of all, are madrasas, where only religious education are doing. Then government schools and colleges, where low grade education or education in national language, Urdu is given, while third one are English medium, in which only high class students are taking education. In this way, in Pakistan, education classified into 3 steps. Though the government want to make a single curriculum for all these, literacy, according to Labor Force Survey 2021, literacy rate tend to show 62.8% in 2021 as compared to 62.4% in 2018-19. More in males from 73% to 73.4% than females, from 51.5% to 51.9%. Area-wise analysis suggests literacy increase in both rural 53.7% to 54.0% and urban 76.1% to 77.3%. Government policies: Pakistan literacy, enrollment, and other education indicators have been improving over last couple of years. Government is very much focusing on improvement both the quality and coverage of education through effective policy intervention and enhancing allocation of resources, but the required reforms and improvement in the education sector cannot be achieved without active participation of public-private sector. Educational technology may be considered as the utilization of modern machines and gadgets in the field of education to increase the rate of learning, to develop the learner interest for effective and productive learning by exerting its influence on the teaching learning process through vicious and progressive use. Educational technology plays various roles. From the traditional point of view, it serves as presenter of knowledge just like teachers. It also serves as productive tool. With the internet, technology has facilitated communication among the people. From the educationist, personal education technology have meaningful learning. Historical development of educational technology. The elder sophists 450 to 350 BC used the term technique to refer the process of applying knowledge in a systematic way to the practical art of instruction. Socrates 470 to 399 BC taught through question-answer method. In the 17th century, John Comenius introduced a textbook for children. The first educational television station went on air in Houston, Texas in 1953. In 1956, CCTV was established for instructional process, program instruction in the works of B.F. Skinner, 1954, and A. O. Grower, 1960, have established a technology for study. Evolution of education technology from writing on the leaf to internet. This flowchart shows an impact how a human being can transform a technology from writing on the leaf, stones, and building, and from that to writing on paper, through telephone, through television, then mobile, internet, and now come to the information technology, which is through global interneting services. Educational technology can be conceived as a science of techniques and methods by which educational goals could be realized. Educational technology is the study, the ethical practice of facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological process and resources. In this picture, we can see through the laptop, through the PC, through the pad, students are learning from distance throughout the globe. Teaching aids, different teaching aids are used in the classroom and in the information technology, from the blackboard, from whiteboard, globes, charts, movies, internet sources, and these are all aids are helpful in teaching learning process from teachers to student. Building a learning culture, teacher develop knowledge and skill, understand learning and its need, facilitate learning, create learning opportunities, learner self-directed, though self-motivated, self-regulating, lifelong learning. And in this culture, administrators create learning environment, provide ICT infrastructure for lifelong learning. In this way, in a learning culture, three stakeholders, teacher, learner, administrator are involved, and all of its own role in developing a learning culture. Educational technology is sometimes referred to as instructional technology or informational technology. A very careful analysis of words and terms related to educational technologies gives one a better understanding of the difference between it and technology education. Educational technology is concerned with the technology in education. It is involved in the use of technology as a tool to enhance the teaching and learning process across all subject areas. Educational technology is concerned about teaching and learning with technology in the International Society for Technology in Education, ISTE, National Educational Technology Standard for Studies. The document states that these standards describe what students should know about the technology and may be able to do with the technology. Scope of educational technology in distance education, in mass education, in historical information, gaming and simulation, collecting, storing, and retrieval of information research. Main areas of educational technology: program learning, macro teaching, simulated teaching, interaction analysis. Roles of educational technology in learning. Technology can play a traditional role, that is as delivery vehicle for instructional lessons, or in a contrastive way as partner in the learning process.
Dr. Tidar, you have 5 minutes left. Thank you.
No, I am compiling this next.
No, you have last 5 minutes.
No, I come to my research. Next.
No, you can continue. You can continue, please.
Next. Come to my main research. Next. Aims of our study.
Dr. Iqtidar, your camera is switched off. We cannot see you. Your camera, yeah, now it's okay. Yeah.
To meet the educational need of ever-increasing population of world, it is carry of the day to bring innovation in the field of education. The aim of this study to assess the present level and scope of education technology, to explain and identify the role of different areas in educational technology, to check the adaptation and effectiveness of audiovisual aids in teaching learning process. Methodology of the study population. All teachers of comprised population of study government higher secondary schools number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in district DA Khan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan during 2021 were recruited as population. A sample of 100 teachers were selected on random basis from government higher secondary school district Deir Ismail Khan. Instrument. A comprehensive questionnaire was set up with 20 questions. Administration of tools. Questionnaire were personally distributed and collected from the respondents. Collection of data. Mostly data was collected personally from the required respondents. Data analysis. Data was analyzed by applying percentage formula. Finally, recommendations were made by the charts. Use of technology education. Item, you use educational technology in your daily teaching is a question sent to the teachers, where 92 teachers said yes, 8 teachers said no. In this way, table number 1 shows that 92% of respondents use educational technology like internet, mobile, television in their daily teaching, while 8% teacher population who teaches mostly languages Urdu and English or religious subject Islamiyat did not know the use of educational technology in their teaching. Kulik 1994 observed in his study that students learn more in less time when they receive education by use of modern technology like information technology or internet instead of old methods. Promotion to the standard of education. Education technology promotes standard education. Here, 80% respondent in reply of yes and 20% reply in no. In this way, table number 2 shows that 80% of respondents were of the opinion the modern educational technology promote the standard of education. 20% have opinion that old method of teaching like teacher-centered method is very useful for teaching learning process. Kachla 1998 reviewed 219 research study from 1990 to 1997 to assess the effect of technology as learning and achievement across all learning domains and all ages of learning. Through his analysis of these individuals, he reported that the level of effectiveness of education technology is influenced by specific student population, the educator role, and level of student access to modern technology. Availability of audio-visual aids in the classroom. Here, different audio-visual aids are available in the classroom like charts, globes, map, newspaper, books, TV, radio, computer. Mostly in Pakistan, there are 80% charts are available, while computer and modern technology aviates are rarely about to 40%. Table number 4 shows that 100% teacher had.
You have last 1 minute.
No, I am come to conclusion, sir. Use of audiovisual aids. By audiovisual aids, we usually mean the most modern or the most recently use of some object like films, radio, TV, and computer. Actually, this is a summary identification of very old method with the modern instruments, books, pen, blackboard, map, globes are also areas used in daily teaching learning process. Its main purpose is to help the teacher, so teacher chooses that material which is best adapted to his subject, his audience, and his circumstances. Figure 3 provides us information about use of aviates at Higher Secondary School of DA Khan, KP, Pakistan. Technology and standard of education. Table 5 shows that 80% of respondents said that educational technology changed the position of classroom to use the educational technology. Modern educational technology has been found useful and effective in teaching learning process. Several forms of media, including radio, television, computer, and other audiovisual formats, found very effective in teacher education and training. Therefore, position of classroom changed due to modern technology, which raises the standard of education. No classroom are decorated with modern audiovisual aids like computer, TV, and laptops. Next. Conclusion. It is concluded from our study that modern education technology promoted teaching and learning process. Majority of teachers use charts, globes, maps, and lecture methods used in the schools, but at least electronic technology, internet-based, was not available in the school of DA Khan, KP, Pakistan. The teacher did not know how to get internet-based technology instrument and educational management through computer-based internet classroom. So it is recommended that computer and internet-based programs should be introduced to cope with the changing circumstances and changing of the globe. Thank you for moderator, sir. Dr. Riyaz Ahmed.
Thank you, Dr. Iqtidar. We don't see any question in the audience. So does anyone in the panel, do you have any question to Dr. Iqtidar? Dr. Riyaz, you can unmute yourself. Dr. Riyaz, we cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Iqtidar, your topic is very good. There is a noise. Okay, your topic is very good, and you have taken up really a fantastic topic. Just question. By the educational technology, specifically what actually you mean? Can you give the name of them?
No, there are two types of educational technology. First, all those methods which were available in classroom, like maps, globes, which are called old method or old technology. No comes after the pandemic COVID-19, when distance education and when Zoom meeting education and team meeting education started in Pakistan. This educational technology changed into the information technology through internet services.
Could you please, excuse me, sir, could you please just tell what are those educational technology specific?
Educational technology means to come all those methods or ways by which we can do education through internet services throughout the globe.
So are you using smart board? Are you using smart board?
Yes. A smart board or whiteboard using during the Zoom or other this type of media.
Okay. So you felt that educational technology is really, but you have shown data. You have shown data that the rate of just by 0.2. How is this?
This is due to lack of infrastructure like electricity crisis in Pakistan and high charges of mobile, laptop, and pad. Due to this, in villages, this type of education is not prevailing well, but due to policies of federal government, no government is trying to give these facilities of urban areas also into villages for this type of education.